Connecting Central Texas. This is Good Morning Texas.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday LeRae. TGIM. I feel like this week is going to be a great week. Some of us get paid, and maybe the weather is going to be a bit better, at least than last week.
How's that shaping up, Josh?
Well, I'll tell you that the first part of this week is going to be perfect weather-wise. No storms in the forecast through at least the middle of the week. You can see out there right now, no issues. We're talking about temperatures getting into the upper 70s by 2 o'clock, and late this afternoon should top out close to 80 in Waco, Temple, and Killeen. That's right where we should be for this time of year as we do start the month of May. But remember, month of May tends to be pretty active weather-wise, and while we're quiet here for the first part of the week, I am tracking increasing storm chances for the second part of the week on into the weekend. I'll walk you through it and have a look at that 10-day coming up.
All righty, thank you, Josh. Well, days after severe storms led to classes being canceled, school is back in session this morning at Valley Mills ISD. Now, last week, 2 schools in the district suffered damage to their roof and windows, making it unsafe for students. But the district says after working through the weekend, repairs are now complete and students can return safely.
Happening now, a pair of murder investigations in Killeen, the latest in the area of old FM 440. Police responding to reports of gunshots there inside a home. Officers found 42-year-old Kenny Morgan dead. No details yet on a suspect. And this comes after a Killeen man was shot and killed last week. On Thursday, police found a man and woman shot on Zephyr Road. First responders rushed them to the hospital, but the man did not survive. Right now, the woman is in stable condition. If you know anything, call police. As you wake up this morning, a manhunt is underway. After a deadly mass shooting near Houston, 5 family members there killed execution style inside their home.
Now, police now offering an $80,000 reward for more information leading to the suspect. Lionel Moisey has the latest.
Hundreds of people gathered at this elementary school north of Houston last night, remembering the victims of a shooting rampage that has this small community living in fear.
No tengo palabras como...
Wilson Garcia and his wife were hosting guests at their home Friday night when Garcia says his neighbor, Francisco Oropeza, began firing an AR-15 from his porch for fun.
This is a small community where neighbors say that every single weekend people fire weapons for fun. It's the norm. What happened here at this house, though, no one thought was possible.
Garcia says when he asked Oropeza to stop, Oropeza stormed into his house and began shooting, killing 5 people, including Garcia's wife and son. Garcia says after Oropeza shot his wife, another woman told him to escape through the window because she knew his wife would not survive.
Y mi esposa también.
10 people in the house escaped without injuries. According to authorities, 2 women were found lying on top of surviving children, and witnesses describe other children surviving after someone threw a pile of clothes on them. Authorities and scent dogs later tracked Oropeza to a wooded area, finding his clothes and phone, but then they lost track of him.
We have 0 leads.
Investigators are now offering an $80,000 reward for information leading to Oropeza. Meanwhile, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is now facing criticism for identifying the victims as undocumented immigrants in the same statement in which he offered condolences to their loved ones. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Wilson Garcia says that he asked Oropeza to stop firing his gun in his front yard because his baby was trying to sleep. The sheriff says Oropeza's wife is cooperating with the investigation.
Well, if you're looking to vote early for the May elections, you're almost out of time. Tomorrow is your last day to cast your early ballot. If you're eligible to vote by mail, your envelope should be postmarked by 7 p.m. on Election Day. Now, Election Day is this Saturday, May 6th. To vote in Texas, you must be registered and you'll need to present one of 7 forms of ID. You can use a driver's license, personal ID card, handgun license, passport, or military ID, among others. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can fill out a form and use a birth certificate, utility bill, or a paycheck.
It's been a year now since Marine Trevor Reed's first taste of freedom after spending more than 2 years wrongfully detained in Russia. He's back in North Texas after a daring prisoner swap. Reed speaking with us about the brutal conditions he experienced there in Russia.
Obviously, you still remember everything that happened, and I think about that, every day. But yeah, it's like getting back to normal and living here, and this is the new normal again. So I'm happy to live in this reality instead of the last one.
Tonight at 6, Trevor Reed sits down with 25 News for an exclusive interview to talk about how he's adjusting to life back home while still fighting for other Americans wrongfully detained all around the world.
In health news this morning, well, today is Melanoma Monday, a day to bring awareness to skin cancer and how you can protect yourself and your family.
25 News reporter Nakia Simon is live at a dermatology clinic in Waco now with how you can protect yourself. Good morning, Nakia.
Good morning, Joey and Sade. As you know, it's going to begin to start warming up as the day goes by this week, and you have to protect your skin. Melanoma is the deadliest form of skin cancer, and according to the American Academy of Dermatology, 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer in their lifetime. At least 20 people a day die from melanoma. In 2022, over 7,600 deaths were caused by melanoma. But overall, the death rates have declined by nearly 4%. Experts are urging people to take the proper precautions to take care of their skin.
Melanoma itself is a type of skin cancer. It's the 3rd most common type, but it's the most deadly type. It can metastasize to other parts of your body, versus the other 2 most common don't do that quite as often. Now, the melanoma is a type of skin cancer that's a malignant growth from your melanocytes, which are the types of cells that make pigment in your skin.
Here are some type of ways you can protect your skin. You can wear sunscreen, even on cloudy days. You want to make sure that if you're going out into the sun for an experiment period of time that you cover up and avoid tanning beds. It puts you at a higher risk of melanoma. And make sure you check your skin regularly. Coming up on Good Morning Texas, Dr. Young will be joining us. We'll be speaking with her about sunscreen. I know you've seen SPF 30, SPF 45, SPF 50. Which one should you purchase and which one will protect your skin and help you protect your skin as you stay out in the sun all day? Reporting in Waco, Nakia Simon, 25 News.
We'll be watching for that, thanks to Kia. And chaos at a popular market in Texas in 6 minutes. The terrifying moments caught on camera and what eyewitnesses are telling us this morning.
But first, state of emergency while the city of El Paso is taking unprecedented measures as Title 42 comes to an end.
And a quiet day ahead, but the storm chances aren't going to stay away forever. I'm already tracking some for the end of the week, and I'll walk you through them in that 10-day coming up.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's first day of the week, first day of the month too, already here.
That's right.
This year's flying.
Gosh, rent is due, by the way.
Oh,
Which
don't
is,
forget.
you know, I'm sorry. But the good news is that you said that we have a couple beautiful days in store for us at the beginning of this week, at least.
we really do, which is good because May typically starts off pretty active weather-wise, right? Well, we kind of got it out of the way last week, I'm pretty sure, because we're going to see a quiet start to the week this week. I want to go back to last week, though, because new this weekend, the National Weather Service has confirmed that there was an EF1 tornado that touched down in Coryell County. Now, they haven't reached full report status on this. They haven't gone in and fully investigated this, but I've drawn an approximate path based on what I saw on radar and what we saw out in the storm wrangler of where this could be, starting near South Permella and Arnett, sweeping south across 116 into the north side of Fort Hood, passing to the south at Gatesville. So we will get more information here over the next 24 to 48 hours on that potential tornado there in Coryell County. But thankfully, none of that on the way here today. 52 degrees out there right now. It feels a little chilly. 57 down Marlin, 56 in Temple. We'll start off here a little cool, but by afternoon, it's going to be nice. 75 by noon, lower 80s this afternoon. Very appropriate start to May. The live radar network is quiet. We do have a cold front to the south. Low pressure to the east will keep easterly winds around today, so that'll keep things quite nice outside. We'll see the drier air around for today, but as we get into tomorrow, those south winds pick back up. Expect that to draw the moisture back in, will increase the cloud cover, and temperatures back in the lower 80s. One thing we're going to be watching here over the next 72 hours is this dry line becoming active over West Texas. Initially, those storms will stay west of us, but by the time we get into the end of the week, That dry line is close enough that we start to see isolated thunderstorms firing both Thursday, Friday, even on into Saturday. And I think Saturday will have some upper level energy to make it more possible. So while we're quiet here the next 3 days, watch out for more storm chances to end the week, and we'll take those storm chances all the way into next week as well.
Well, at the border, the city of El Paso entering a state of emergency today as Title 42 comes to an end. The Texas Tribune reporting that the city's mayor issued the declaration less than 24 hours ago. It will let the city access resources to protect the community and asylum seekers.
We're starting to pick up some momentum as asylum seekers are around the streets of downtown El Paso and other areas of our community. And we need to make sure that we continue to protect not only the asylum seekers, but also our community.
He expects asylum seekers to flood the city once Title 42 expires. The pandemic-era policy lets immigration officials quickly expel migrants from the country due to COVID-19. The Biden administration says once the policy expires, it will increase deportations. Anyone who doesn't enter the country legally could also be prevented from requesting asylum in the future. Now, Chicago's Mayor Lori Lightfoot now calling on Texas Governor Greg Abbott to stop busing migrants to her city. Lightfoot says the city has welcomed more than 8,000 asylum seekers since last August, but the city is running out of resources and shelter space. Governor Abbott has not responded.
Around Texas, 2 people, including a firefighter, are now recovering after a fire at a popular market near Houston. Take a look. Cell phone video from customers shows the chaos at the Traders Village Flea Market Saturday. We're told the fire at one vendor's stall spread to 24 others. The panic there, making it hard for firefighters to respond.
Here, boom, boom, just like if fireworks were going off, but like stuff collapsing on it. So it was just like a lot, and then it just kept the smoke coming this way, so everybody's starting to run that way.
Instead of like moving out the way, they were in the way, it was aggravating because they were trying to see if people were still in there and if they were okay. And then there was this lady crying because, you know, it was her stand.
One firefighter and another person suffered from smoke inhalation. They were taken to the hospital and they're expected to be okay. Police across Texas on alert now in the search for a gunman.
Just ahead, the latest on the suspect behind that deadly mass shooting near Houston. It's now 6:15 and you're watching Good Morning Texas. It's 6:19 and out of the top stories we're following. An urgent manhunt underway across Texas in search of a mass shooting suspect. The man is accused of killing 5 of his neighbors, including an 8-year-old boy, Friday near Houston. Police say he killed them after they asked him to stop firing his gun in their yard. The FBI is offering an $80,000 reward for tips leading to his capture. First Republic Bank has a new owner. Federal regulators say J.P. Morgan Chase agrees to take over the troubled bank. They worked all weekend to find a new buyer before the markets opened this morning. The bank has struggled ever since 2 other American banks collapsed in March. And this morning, President Biden is preparing to welcome the president of the Philippines to the White House. The 2 leaders will talk about several issues, including climate change, human rights, and military defense. But now let's get a check on your weather. Good morning there, Josh.
Feeling pretty good, Josh.
Yes.
Yeah, really not feeling bad at all. It's a little cool, though. If you do need a jacket, that's totally okay. Temperatures in the lower 50s right now in Waco, mid to upper 50s in Killeen and Temple. By afternoon, though, it's going to be gorgeous. 80 in Hamilton and in Evant. Coppers Cove also at 80. West, you'll climb to 77 this afternoon. Rosebud at 81. Notice these rain chances in the green, rather low. 80 in Buffalo today, 79 in Fairfield and into the Brazos Valley. Temperatures in the low to even mid-80s. Could see some 84s to 85s from Caldwell down towards Brenham. Guys, I'm tracking more storm chances on the way, though. The nice weather not going to hang around all week. I'll walk you through that 10-day coming up.
All right, the one and only Willie Nelson making music with his friends over the weekend.
That's right. The star-studded turnout for the country music legend's 90th birthday celebration. That's just ahead. 6:24 now. Willie Nelson celebrating his 90th birthday over the weekend with some famous friends. Take a listen.
You won't see no sad teary-eyed.
The big birthday bash happening at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. The star-studded guest list included George Strait and Chris Stapleton. Even Snoop Dogg did a duet with Willie. They sang "Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die." You know they had to. Of course they did.
I was just about to ask, what is Willie's beauty secret?
Right?
You know?
I mean, he's got some secret, but he just keeps going. I think the secret might be out of the bag, though.
Yeah.
Common knowledge.
There you go. Well, listen, we are going to give away another mug.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, yeah.
Congratulations to today's winner, Jared Job. Congrats, Jared. We'll let you know you can pick up one of those Good Morning Texas mugs.
And if you want one too, just go to our website, kxxv.com/contest. Click the mug, and that's all you got to do. We'll put your name into the drawing for our next giveaway here tomorrow morning. All you got to do is watch to win. Pretty simple, and we're winning with weather. It's feeling nice today.
It's really not that bad. It's a little cool this morning, but we're going to make up for it this afternoon, guys. Really nice weather setting up this afternoon, and no issues for your morning commute. Even better, the live radar network showing up clear right now. That's different from what we've had here over the last few days. Thankfully, not dealing with any of that. We do have a cold front to the south. With that cold front in place, easterly winds take over. Look at the dry air working down behind it. That means today is going to be quiet. The moisture will start to increase, though, here over the next few days, and that'll start to activate the dry line over West Texas. So while we're quiet, there's thunderstorms flying over West Texas both Tuesday and Wednesday. By the time we get into Thursday, though, here comes that next rain chance with thunderstorms firing on the dry line closer to us. Some of those could be strong to severe, and this is going to set us up for multiple potential days. Thursday, Friday, on into Saturday, maybe even Sunday and Monday, the potential for a couple of storm chances to hold on as we get into the second part of the week. So enjoy the next three. 80 degrees today, 82 on Wednesday, 82 on Tuesday, and 84 on Wednesday. Rest of that 10-day forecast keeps those storm chances rather high heading into the weekend, guys.
All righty, Josh, thank you for that. More local news on the way here in 2 minutes.
Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Connecting Central Texas. This is Good Morning Texas.
Half past the hour now. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday LeRae. Listen, fresh off a wonderful weekend, actually. If you step out, it feels pretty nice outside.
Yeah, Josh, what's going on today?
Yeah, it sure does feel nice outside. Thankfully, we're in a quiet little weather pattern to start the week, so that's allowing temperatures to be a little cool this morning. 52 in Waco, 56 in Temple, and 59 in Killeen. So if you're heading to the bus stop, know that the bus is going to pick up your kiddos in the mid-50s and drop them off. It'll be the lower 80s. Since it's a little cool in the morning, you might want to go with the pants today, but short sleeves will be a good idea as we get into the afternoon with temperatures in the 80s. Now, we aren't going to be stuck with this quiet weather forever. In fact, I'm tracking storm chances returning for the middle of the week. I'll walk you through them coming up.
All righty, thank you, Josh. Well, days after severe storms led to classes being canceled, school is back in session this morning at Valley Mills ISD. Now, last week, 2 schools in the district suffered damage to their roof and windows, making it unsafe for students. But the district says after working throughout the weekend, repairs are now complete and students can return safely.
Happening now, a pair of murder investigations in Killeen, the latest in the area of Old FM 440. Police responding to reports of gunshots there inside a home. Officers found 42-year-old Kenny Morgan dead. No details on a suspect at this hour. And this comes after a Killeen man was shot and killed last week. On Thursday, police found a man and woman shot on Zephyr Road. First responders rushed them to the hospital, but the man did not survive. Right now, the woman is in stable condition. If you know anything about this, call police.
And at the border this morning, the city of El Paso entering a state of emergency as Title 42 comes to an end. The Texas Tribune reporting that the city's mayor issued the declaration less than 24 hours ago. Now, it will let the city access several resources to protect the community and asylum seekers.
Starting to pick up some momentum as asylum seekers are around the streets of downtown El Paso and other areas of our community. And we need to make sure that we continue to protect not only the asylum seekers, but also our community.
The city expects asylum seekers to flood the city once Title 42 expires. Now, the pandemic-era policy let immigration officials quickly expel migrants from the country due to COVID-19. The Biden administration says once the policy expires, it will increase deportations. Now, anyone who doesn't enter the country legally could also be prevented from requesting asylum in the future.
It's been a whole year now since Marine Trevor Reed's first taste of freedom after spending more than 2 years wrongfully detained in Russia. Well, he's back in North Texas after a daring prisoner swap. Reed speaking to us about the brutal conditions he experienced in Russia.
Obviously, you still remember everything that happened, and I think about that, every day. But yeah, it's like getting back to normal and living here, and this is the new normal again. So I'm happy to live in this reality instead of the last one.
Tonight at 6, Trevor Reed sits down with 25 News for an exclusive interview to talk about how he's adjusting to life back home while still fighting for other Americans wrongfully detained around the world.
In health news this morning, today is Melanoma Monday, a day to bring awareness to skin cancer and how you can protect yourself and your family.
25 News reporter Nakia Simon live at a dermatology clinic in Waco with how you can protect yourself. Good morning, Nakia.
Good morning, Sade and Joey. Melanoma is the deadliest form of skin cancer, and joining me this morning is Dr. Young McMahon. Good morning.
Good morning.
You all are saving lives. As you can see here, you all are continuing to save lives, curing melanoma. Just tell me a little bit about how severe it can be on Americans across the world, but here in Texas.
Absolutely. So what people don't realize is that 1 in 5 Americans are going to be diagnosed with a skin cancer in their lifetime. And it can be easily prevented. And actually, greater than 200,000 Americans are going to be diagnosed with a melanoma, which is the most deadly skin cancer of all of them.
So we want to make sure that we protect our skin. Just tell me a little bit about SPF 30, SPF 40, SPF 50, SPF 60. Does it matter which SPF you get?
You know, it can get really confusing, but according to the American Academy of Dermatology, you want an SPF 30 and up. Make sure it's water resistant and broad spectrum, so covers UVA and UVB. If you can remember,
let's step to the side here.
Yeah, if you can remember those 3 things, then you're set. And actually, I have my favorite sunscreens here. So here is my UV Sport that I usually pick when I'm going to be out by the pool, when I'm running, when I'm doing anything that needs water resistance. This is water resistant for up to 80 minutes. Now, if you're somebody who prefers the spray type, we also have the spray type. Now, for everyday wear, I go with my UV Clear because it's very thin, it's lightweight, still has your SPF 46, but you can put your makeup on it. Now, these are kind of your higher end sunscreens, but really any sunscreen is great, whether it's HEB brand, whether it's your high end brand. If you like it and you like the way it goes on, you like the way it feels and the way it smells, you're more likely to wear it. So pick whichever one you want. These are just some of my recommendations.
I know that also another form of protection for our skin is clothing. I know some of us just want to take off the layers, but adding on the layers, UV protection is important.
Absolutely. So I love UV clothing way more than sunscreen, especially for my kids. I don't want to have to chase them down every 2 hours and put more sunscreen on them. So putting on UPF, UV protective factor clothing, really has saved me as a mom. Put on that big wide brim hat, the rash guard, keeping them out of the sun that way is perfect. You don't have to remember to reapply or did I put enough?
Dr. Young, thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. Can you please tell us more information on how people can reach you?
Absolutely. You can come to our website. It's usdermatologypartners.com, and you would pick the location Waco, and from there you can find whichever provider you would like.
Thank you so much, Dr. Young. Sade and Joey, this means that as our viewers head out the door, make sure you add sunscreen to your routine, even on a cloudy day. Reporting in Waco, Nakia Simon, 25 News.
I've had a red nose this weekend because I forgot. Don't want to do that again.
Gots to be more careful.
Well, there is now a new trend for fans of the outdoors, e-bikes.
Yeah, but are they actually worth the extra dough? Our Money Man takes a closer look so you don't waste your money.
I thought it was pretty refreshing when I stepped outside this morning. Didn't take a jacket or anything.
At all. It was very, very nice outside. My kind of weather.
It has cooled down a little bit since
Yeah.
y'all left in the morning, though, with the clear skies. It's allowed it to get into the lower 50s. So some folks might need a jacket, others may not. Either way, the afternoon, guys, it's going to be gorgeous. We're talking about temperatures getting back in the lower 80s. It's also the first day of May, and May brings a lot of changes here locally in Central Texas. We see increasing temperatures through May. Our highs on average are going to go from the lower 80s into the lower 90s. So by the end of this month, you'll notice more 90s in the forecast. It's also one of our wettest months. We typically get a normal of around 4 and about a half inches of rain over the month. Of course, you can have some higher and lower amounts here and there. It's also typically our peak of severe weather season. So I know we just got over a pretty big episode of severe weather last week. There are likely going to be more of them here as we go through this month. But the good news is we're in a break right now. Lower 50s out there right now in Waco, 56 in Temple, 54 in Killeen. Monday's going to be gorgeous, 65 by 10 o'clock, 80 degrees later on this afternoon. We will have a light easterly wind, but that easterly wind reinforces the drier air. The reason we're seeing that, our cold front shifted to the south, low pressure's off to the east. That counterclockwise flow brings easterly winds, which blows over the land, so it keeps things dry. All the moisture shoved down along the coast, but that is going to be increasing here over the next couple of days, and you'll notice it as we start to get systems developing off to the north. The dry line will become active out to the west. Expect that to start to become a little bit more active closer to us by the time we get into Thursday. That's when we could start to see isolated to scattered thunderstorms Thursday, even Friday, Saturday. These are hard to predict, but at least shows the energy is there, and so is the lift. I think by Saturday we get some upper level energy that may make it a little bit better, but those rain chances look to stay daily going on into next week as well. Could get a little bit of a cool down by the middle of the week, back towards 80.
Josh, we're following breaking news right now out of Groesbeck. One person dead following a house fire. According to the City Now, police and firefighters responded to North Grayson Street just after midnight, where they found the home fully engulfed in flames. Investigators tell us 3 people were inside the home. One of them did not make it out alive. Firefighters found the body after they were able to extinguish the fire. The victim's name is not being released at this point. The state fire marshal's office now investigating.
Well, it's one of the hottest trends for people looking to spend more time outside. Those electric bikes, aka e-bikes, you know what those are. But you know, there's a lot to know before you actually buy one.
That's right. Consumer reporter John Matteries takes a look so you don't waste your money.
Electric bikes are becoming more and more popular as a great way to get around and save money on gas. But before you buy, you want to make sure it's right for you.
Lindsay Keith loves riding her e-bike.
So you have your Plus right here.
And nowadays selling them too.
I would start off in eco mode.
Eco, the easiest, which is the easiest.
She says the appeal of e-bikes is simple, less work.
An e-bike flattens those hills.
They're a big help in hilly areas, especially for older riders.
So you're still pedaling like a regular bike. It's just up to doubling your power.
Lindsay's bikes range from $1,000 to $6,000.
The cheaper ones are going to be the mountain bike based ones.
She says paying more gives you a lighter weight bike and longer lasting batteries. According to Consumer Reports, e-bike sales went up 38% from 2020 to 2021 and another 20% last year. CR's Benjamin Preston says while there are affordable options in the market, you want to proceed with caution.
You don't want to get stuck with something that's of poor quality or is just a bicycle with an electric motor attached to it and maybe the brakes aren't up to par.
In recent CR tests, top performers came from manufacturers that specialize in e-bikes, so spending more for well-known brands may be worth it. Benjamin adds an electric bike is something you should see in person before you buy, especially if it's secondhand.
If it's a pair of pants, you can return it, but bicycle is a little more complicated and you really need to make sure that it fits and that it meets your needs and it's comfortable.
Lindsay says you want a bike shop that can help if something goes wrong.
A shop that cares about you and is selling you something safe, but also comes with a warranty.
Sure, e-bikes cost more, but can make former cyclists love bicycling again.
Wow, that is some easy pedaling.
That way you don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries.
Lawmakers taking new steps now to help the men and women of the armed forces.
The new measures that could help with everything from food to health care to housing. That's next. It's 6:43 and you're watching Good Morning Texas.
Some service members just can't afford to pay their bills or put food on the table. And it's not a new problem, but the solution is complicated.
Joe St. George takes a look at how some recent changes actually aren't that helpful to service members and the new effort underway to address it.
No matter where you are in the country, there's a good chance you will find a tribute or a statue dedicated to the military. Even in these partisan times, the armed forces command a level of respect from both sides of the aisle. But despite all of that respect, there are some staggering facts. The latest government statistics show around 1 in 4 armed service members have suffered from some form of food insecurity lately. That means around 286,000 members of our armed forces have struggled at least some point in the last few years of not being able to put food on their own table.
Hi, welcome to the event.
This issue is one that Scripps News has been following for a while. Last year, we reported on food bank-like events for military families in San Diego. We brought you the stories of families like the Javanars who serve our country but struggle to buy food.
In the back of my mind, where I'm like, did I budget properly?
To some degree, Congress thought they fixed this issue, or at least helped it last year. In the 2022 National Defense Authorization Act, they created a new basic needs allowance for lower-income service members. And while the funding is still working on being implemented, in recent days, Scripps News confirmed with the Pentagon that the fix is helping relatively few. Only as many as 2,400 members may be eligible for the bonus funding, the Pentagon told me. When you compare that with government statistics about food insecurity, that's less than 1% of the estimated need. That brings us to the present, where there's a renewed push for Congress to address this issue again.
We want to look at quality of life for all of our military.
And that is where Republican Congressman Don Bacon of Nebraska comes in. Earlier this year, the House Armed Services Committee announced the creation of a new subcommittee focused on quality of life issues. Congressman Bacon is in charge of it. He tells me he's already met with about 50 service members privately. The first public hearings will be in June. He says the goal is to meet twice a week for 8 months to come up with bipartisan recommendations to then pass in 2024.
The biggest issue that I heard, and it was pretty overwhelming, was housing. The quality of housing, the fact that the housing allowances when they're living off base doesn't cover the rent.
We spend over $800 billion a year on the military. Why do we have members of our armed forces on food stamps?
It's a great question, and we're going to stop it. It's not right, and it should make the average American mad as hell.
Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
Just ahead this morning, a new wrinkle in the banking crisis.
While the federal government and one of the largest banks in the country are scrambling to save a regional bank.
And I'm tracking what's a quiet start to the week here, but we are going to see more storm chances work back in. I'll have that 10-day forecast coming up.
Hey, it was a pretty good weekend. Unfortunately, I did stay inside because I was so tired, but I could have enjoyed the great outdoors because it was actually nice.
Sounds like we might get to do that again today, Josh.
Yeah, another nice day on the way for today. And you know what? We'll string about 3 days of them in here as we go through the week. Out there right now, you can see the clear skies on the Clark Roofing Cam in Killeen. Expect clear skies through much of the day. 65 by 10 o'clock, upper 70s by 2. And late this afternoon, expect temperatures to get close to 80. And that's exactly where they should be this time of year. Our normal is 81. I'm calling for 80 in Waco, Temple, and Killeen, maybe even some mid-80s out to the west towards San Saba. Now, I am tracking more storm chances working back into the forecast. A busy second half of the week. We'll walk you through in that 10-day here in just a few.
Alrighty, thank you, Josh. Well, federal regulators racing to seize and sell First Republican Bank. This takeover is part of a broader effort to stem a banking crisis that started with the failure of Silicon Valley Bank last month.
And this all follows a report from the Federal Reserve where the central bank blames itself and bad management for the failure. Justin Finch has the latest.
This morning, another race to rescue First Republic Bank. Reuters reports PNC Bank, JP Morgan Chase Bank, and Citizens Financial Group are among the bidders in a FDIC auction for First Republic Bank. Its takeover would mark the third major U.S. bank meltdown in less than 2 months.
What will most likely happen is the FDIC will seize control and then simultaneously resell the asset to the successful bidder.
San Francisco-based First Republic saw its stock plunge 75% last week, after revealing account holders withdrew $100 billion in deposits during the recent banking crisis.
The deposit flight was greater than expected.
The U.S. financial system still aching after back-to-back bank failures starting March 10th with the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. 2 days later, Signature Bank failed. And by March 16th, as investors raised red flags about First Republic, 11 major banks supplied a $30 billion cash infusion. Sources telling ABC News JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell brokered that deal.
Our banking system is sound and resilient with strong capital and liquidity.
But the Federal Reserve admitting in an internal review released Friday that it could have done more to avert that Silicon Valley Bank collapse. California House Democrat Ro Khanna calling for tighter oversight.
Every time the economy heats up, we somehow say deregulate, deregulate, and it never works out.
And the Federal Reserve will be in the spotlight again this week for its interest rate decision. Another hike is expected in its ongoing effort to cool inflation. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Justin, thank you. 6:53 now. A recent rise in fraudulent service animals is raising concerns among people with disabilities. Right now, 2 bills in the state legislature are aimed at addressing the problem. The bills would raise the current fine for claiming a pet is a service animal when it's actually not. The fine would go up from $300 to $1,000. The bill would also require websites that sell fake service animal vests to tell their customers that the vest won't protect them from the law. One handler tells 25 News untrained pets can distract real working animals. He hopes these bills will stop that from happening.
Every time you go to the grocery store, there are other animals there, and it's unclear what they're doing. And you go out to restaurants, same thing. It's it seems like there are these other animals all over the place now.
Tonight at 6, we'll hear more stories from service dog handlers and taking an in-depth look at the bills that would actually protect them.
It's now 6:54, and these are our top stories we're following for you this morning.
Right now, there's an urgent manhunt underway for the suspect in a mass shooting. The man accused of killing 5 of his neighbors, including an 8-year-old boy, Friday night near Houston. Police say he shot them after they asked him to stop firing his gun in their yard. The FBI is offering an $80,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. It's been a year now since Marine Trevor Reed's first taste of freedom after spending more than 2 years wrongfully detained in Russia. Tonight at 6, Reed sits down with 25 News for an exclusive interview to talk about how he's adjusting to life back at home, still fighting for other Americans wrongfully detained around the world.
And classes are resuming this morning at Valley Mills ISD. Now, last week, 2 schools in the district suffered damage to their buildings, making it unsafe for students there. But the district says after working throughout the weekend, repairs are now complete and students can safely return. All right, well, speaking of students, how's it looking as they head to school this morning, Josh?
What should they wear at the bus stop?
Yeah, just a little cool out there. Grab a jacket if you're walking out the door. Lower 50s currently in Waco, mid 50s in Temple and in Killeen. But here's the deal. If you're wearing a jacket, wear short sleeves underneath, because by afternoon it's going to be real nice. Temperatures in the lower 80s. We've got some east winds at around 11 miles per hour. Now, we'll stay quiet for most of the week. Today on into tomorrow, I think we see some high clouds today. The partly cloudy skies work back in tomorrow with southerly winds. And we'll start to see the dry line get active across West Texas. That stays away from us initially. So we're quiet Tuesday, even Wednesday, but by Thursday, that dry line's getting closer to us, and we'll start to see the potential for afternoon and evening thunderstorms building on in Thursday, even into Friday, Saturday even. I think Saturday will bring some better rain chances with a little chunk of upper level energy that will actually increase those storm chances, and so a more active pattern here to end the week. So enjoy the next 3 days we have, because they're going to be gorgeous. 80 today, 82 tomorrow, 84 on Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine both days. Here come the storm chances, though, starting Thursday, and I have them lingering on into early next week, but this is typical for May, guys. We just got to get ready for it.
All right. Thanks for starting your day with us. Good Morning America's next.
Hey, we'll see you right back here on 25 News Midday. Have a wonderful Monday.